Hello, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving 2020 to all. I am going to do a film documentary review of Plandemic 2. And despite the fact that it says propaganda in the title, I don't believe that this film is propaganda. Um, I'm still, hold on, I'm getting a little bit of feedback here, guys. Let me turn this down. I'm not really sure where this is coming from. But again, happy Thanksgiving to all. And just going to talk about what I saw in this film that I liked, didn't like, what I thought of it. It's directed by Mickey Willis, and I believe he also did the first one where the principal interviewee there was Judy Mikovits, and she's also featured in this one as well, briefly towards the beginning. But this documentary focuses a lot more on Bill Gates, particularly the second half of it, and they call it a doctor-mentary. So little play on words there, and various people are featured, including Ralph Barrick, who is a coronavirus researcher at UNC. But I think some big items that I wanted to go over were some documents. April 25th, 2003, the CDC filed for a patent on coronavirus transmissible to humans, and the patent number was included as well in case anybody wants to look it up. It's US patent number 7776521B1. And the principal interviewee is a man called David Martin, who describes himself as a corporate advisor, entrepreneur, etc., uh, professor as well. And he does a very good job on the film being interviewed. And he lists US Code 35, Section 101, where it says a naturally occurring DNA segment is a product of nature and is not patent eligible merely because it has been isolated. So basically, what that means is if it naturally occurs in the world, it can't be patented. But an exception to that, of course, is a bioweapon, something that has been engineered or created. That would technically make it legal were it not illegal to create bioweapons, which is part of international warfare laws, international treaties, and agreements. So either way, it is illegal to make a bioweapon and patent it. On May 14, 2007, the CDC also filed a request for non-publication and certification in order to keep their patent applications private. That, of course, failed. Uh, in effect, we all know about these patents now, or at least some of us do. The information is out there, and I'm certainly trying to get it out as well. Detection and measurement methods also were filed for as patents. Patent numbers 7776521 and 7220852. What does that mean? It is the CDC's patent control for any sort of detection or measurement of coronavirus pathogens. So this is a stranglehold on any sort of information related to the coronavirus. $3.7 million went from the U.S. government to the Wuhan labs because in 2014 and 2015 there were various articles done, one of them being in the BBC, ironically enough, about the dangers of researching a pathogen that is deadly, such as the coronavirus. A happy Thanksgiving once again, everybody. And because of that, the research got outsourced. a puppet subcontractor, EcoHealth Alliance, which we've heard mentioned several times before throughout the course of this pandemic, was the subcontractor with whom the money exchanged hands. So this was a team experiment, basically, principally between the U.S. and China. Although the virus did pass through research labs in uh, Canada as well. One in particular, I want to say it was Winnipeg. And furthermore, it delved into Google and the power that the search engine of Google has over the populace, blacklisted terms on Google for their, I believe it's called their fairness program, which, if anybody has seen the Project Veritas documentary about Google and YouTube, I also did a documentary review on that one as well. If people want to check it out, they go into the fairness program within Google a little deeper if people want to check that out by Mr. O'Keefe. But just a few of the blacklisted terms for interest's sake is Eighth Amendment of the Constitution of Ireland. Now, I haven't looked that up, but I'm very interested to see why the Eighth Amendment of the Irish Constitution would be blacklisted. Also, a GOP train crash assassination attempt as well. David, oh, excuse me, that was not it. So I just wrote down those two. The other ones that I can remember were terms related to cancer cure for cancer, the Las Vegas shooting, and is Stephen Paddock a Democrat, who, of course, was the supposed shooter in the Las Vegas massacre. David Folan, who is an attorney for Judy Mikovits, testified to the fact, and not legally, but on this documentary, that there was in fact no search warrant for the search and seizure of Judy Mikovitz's possessions, nor was she actually charged with anything. Your tax dollars at work. We will get into that as well. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Just a couple names too. David Sencer, CDC director from 1966 to 1977, lied to, I don't know who was doing the story, but he was being interviewed. He was saying there was no neurological negative side effects to any vaccines, which is just absurd. Dr. Michael Hatwick basically contradicted that and said, I don't know why he lied and said that. He wasn't a very good liar, Mr. Censor. Quote from Plato that stuck out, the great Greek philosopher: those who tell the stories rule society. John Stockwell, a CIA whistleblower, went into the Operation Mockingbird a bit as well, which is, of course, the CIA infiltration into the mainstream media, which has been covered before as well on my channel. James R. Thornwell was interviewed, a U.S. Army experiment victim. He was just briefly shown, and then Project Scopex as well was something I wanted to look into. I took notes on it. I haven't done this. I literally just finished the documentary, so I wanted to get right into my review while it was fresh in my mind, and very well done. It certainly went deep into not doctor. He's not a doctor. Bill Gates, who Mark Housatonic Live has been covering very deeply recently. And the reason I say that is because the documentary mentions the fact that his father was a high profile lawyer in the Seattle area. So it expands on Bill Gates being born into wealth and not being this. I think, was it Horatio Alger who wrote the story about the kind of the rags to riches American dream, which, as it pertains to Gates, is kind of the story that we're all told, that he created this Microsoft company from nothing and got rich off of it. When in reality, it seems that he's more of an opportunist. All he did was he copied some operating system software from a local Seattle company, modified it slightly, and then sold it to IBM. And again, everything I'm talking about here is the Plandemic 2 documentary. Link is in the description box below if anybody wants to check it out. It's on BitChute. So, Bill Gates, I definitely want to make a t-shirt of him that just says criminal on it. I think I'm going to wear it at some point, so be on the lookout for that. But very fantastic documentary, and flowed quite well. It also showed some quite brutal images, some of which I've seen before, some of which I have not, of citizens around the world being mistreated, whether it's the Australian girl getting choked out by police, which I believe I shared that on my channels as well, to videos that I had never seen before of police taking people out of their own swimming pools for one reason or another. It basically just police tyranny, authoritarian tyranny. There was also a video, I don't know where it was, but it looked somewhere in the West. Police came into someone's living room and took them away, arrested them in their own living room, uh, assuming that was for some sort of lockdown violation or social distancing violation. And it also showed, I believe it was a couple in Australia. No, excuse me, Kentucky. It was Kentucky, United States, who were thought to have broken lockdown rules, and they both got ankle monitors for their house. They got locked down. So it also showed, various video documentations of authoritarian abuses throughout the world, particularly in the West, but in the East as well, which, again, some of those I had seen, others that I did not see. Those really shocked me, seeing the girl getting taken out of her own swimming pool. Uh, that that was quite shocking, as well as the person getting dragged out of their house in their living room as well. And again, his name is Mickey Willis. Did a very good job on it, as did Mr. Martin, who was kind of the interviewee for the duration of the documentary. But I would recommend it. And the reason, again, that I put propaganda in the title was to get a little clickbaity, and maybe do a little 180 reverse psychology trick on the algorithms there. So whether that works or not, who knows? But if I do get strikes, I tend to just delete the video so as not to risk my channel. People were asking about a documentary review I did of Janet Osavard's documentary called Fall the Cabal. The documentary itself was removed from my channel, but you can still find it on the internet. If you just type in Fall the Cabal, my documentary review is still on there as well. But Plandemic 2, Mickey Willis, I highly recommend people check it out. This has been my review and summary of that particular film. I hope people enjoyed it. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time.